This is Miss Lizzie, and I want to welcome you to the Queen Lizzie podcast. Together, we will go through the history of Rosewood, Florida, and watch as the once prosperous town rises out of the bloodshed, fire, and ash to reveal the people, the memory, and the legacy of Rosewood. Watch every Thursday on Facebook and YouTube, or listen to our story on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Hello, everybody. I am Lizzie Robinson Jenkins, representing not only the Rosewood Foundation, but the personal testimonies and history of cherished friends and family. You are now watching the Queen Lizzie podcast. Today, we're talking with Miss Lola Debose. Welcome, Miss Debose.
Well, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Well, you are welcome. I'm honored to have you.
And honored to be here.
Thank you. Well, Rosewood is my family's history, and I've been working on it researching for 42 years, and it's very special to me. And my mom's sister was the teacher from 1915, 1923. She said, baby, you must, after her sister told her the story, the tragic story, and what happened to her, my mother said to me, you must keep that history alive, tell the truth, research, authenticate, never attack anybody. But keep that history alive, preserve it so that it will not repeat.
Yes, ma'am.
And 42 years I have been doing that.
Wow.
And it's not easy. It's painful, but it must be told. And people, one reason I keep telling it, people appreciate it. Okay. And I am so glad that you are my guest today. And you are my first lady from my church.
Yes, ma'am.
And we have an installation coming up Sunday.
Yes.
The 8th.
Fastly approaching.
Do you want to talk about it?
Well, like I just said, fastly approaching.
Yes.
But we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to what God is getting ready to do.
Exactly.
Because we're a firm believer that we didn't go looking for this.
Yes.
But God gave this to us, Yes. And so with that, we're just wanting to do His will and what it is that He would have us to do. And I was talking to my husband about this morning, just his position, in the church, because I've always felt like God was leading him from the time that he was in the military. Okay. Because I was just telling him a couple of days ago, I said, to me, I said, you are really a born leader.
Yes.
While some people have to really try and, develop those things. I've watched him do this and be this since the early 1980s when we, joined the military. Okay. So I've always said that to him.
Serving.
Thank you.
Okay.
So I've always, so I just think this is something that God had been preparing him for long time ago. Okay. But he's coming into the fruition of it now. So I'm just anxious to see what God is going to do, because I know it's going to be good.
I know that too.
I know it's going to be good.
Yes, and you're at my church.
Yes, ma'am.
And it is 154 years old, established in 1870 by Reverend Danzy. And people don't know it, but Reverend Danzy is really from the Gainesville, Spring Hill. Okay. That's where his people, when they left Archer, they migrated to Gainesville. So if you've heard the word Danzy at Spring Hill area.
A lot of them.
Okay.
A lot of them.
Well, it started in Archer.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And he
is a big part of Spring Hill's history.
Exactly. Well, it started there. So it's amazing how history repeats itself. Yes. Now here you are, members of Spring Hill, the founding pastor from St. Joseph, founded St. Joseph, and he and his family migrated to Spring Hill. Wow. That's history, like taking roundabout.
Yes, it is.
whatever you want to call it. And here we are. History repeats itself.
Yes.
And I'm
Yes.
so glad to have you here. And our installation is coming up Sunday, December 8th. If you all hear us out there, remember December 8th, which is the Sunday coming.
Yes, ma'am.
We will be there
Yes.
waiting for you, to greet you, to feed you, and make sure you enjoy yourself.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And bring your family. We have lots of food. So we're looking forward to just having a good time.
Yes. And this is St. Joseph Missionary Baptist Church in Archer, Florida.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
And the address is, I don't remember. I think it's 17781 Southwest 170th Street.
I don't have a clue.
If you don't, can't find it, Google it.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Google
It'll
it.
definitely come up. It'll
Yes,
definitely come up.
yes. And the installation, what time?
3:00.
3 p.m.
3
We're
o'clock.
having service that morning.
Yes, he will be speaking that morning, and then after that, we'll be welcoming family and friends to come in and get a good meal and just sweet fellowship.
Yes.
Before the 3:00
Yes.
installation. So
And I'm honored to have you here too to talk about it, because I am one of the historians for my church. Our first historian, and people don't know this, but our first historian was Deacon Hintz Rao. He is no longer living, but he started the documentation for the history of St. Joseph
okay.
and passed it on to my mom. And I guess the reason why I am a historian, I'm a historian because I have watched my mom work over the years
Exactly.
and maintain church records and said to me at home, this is our history. And I have so many documents that my mother saved over the years, going back to the 1800s. And I used to tell her, I thought it was junk, and I used to tell her, Mom, I'm going to throw this trash away. And she said, if you do, I am going to,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I can imagine.
you can do the rest of it. But now I understand why. I appreciate it.
Yes.
And I'm giving you a book today. It's a history book, and some of the
Okay.
information I have in the book. And I'm going to show it to you
Okay.
so that other people, if you want to purchase this book,
Okay.
it's called
Can you see? Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
Alachua County, Florida. And this young man right here is my grandfather. And he is the father of the Rosewood school teacher. His name is Reverend Charlie L. Brown Sr. Okay, so he was an associate pastor there,
Okay.
while Reverend Walton was the pastor. So this I'm going to give to you also that
Okay.
you can
Thank
read
you.
and catch up on some things
Thank
that,
you. Yeah.
yes, that went on in Alachua County. Okay, I just wanted the people to know that. And if you all want to order the book, go to rosewoodflorida.com. Florida, spell Florida out, rosewoodflorida.com, and you can order the book from my website.
Okay.
Okay,
Sounds
so
good. Sounds
okay,
good.
yes.
You've been given an awesome, great responsibility.
I have.
Yes, it's been passed on from generations to generations, and just to be able to still hear about Rosewood,
Yes.
and I know I've heard you say it before that it's not just Black history, but it's American history.
It is.
And it's such a big part
Yes.
of history. I mean, I can't even, when I think about that story, when I just go back and visit, the times and everything that happens, I'm teary-eyed every time.
Exactly.
So, I know I couldn't imagine when you first started,
Yes.
with this. It's got to be a hard thing to have to keep reliving and retelling, but it's worth it. It's worth it.
Very, very hard, very difficult, and thank you. That was a compliment when you said you don't know how I do it. That was a compliment because I have, like my mom's grandchildren, and I ask them, to help, and they tell me without thinking, no, auntie, we can't do it. It's too
Tough
hard.
skin.
Yes, it's too difficult.
Yeah.
And we don't want to hear it. I said, well, you're going to listen anyway. Because I know when my mother told us, well, when she took us to see the movie, one of her grandsons said, Grandma, I don't want to see that movie. She said, you don't have a choice. If my sister lived it, you're going to take your with me
Yes,
to this
ma'am.
movie.
Yes.
And you're going to sit there and watch it. He said, okay. All right. She did not give them a choice, but now they have a choice. And like I said, they don't like to talk about it. They don't like to hear about it. But they appreciate
it.
what I'm doing. And just
Yes.
like you said, you don't know.
Yeah,
It's a
knowing
big
the
job.
history. Oh my
It's a big
God.
job, and it is America's history, and that's why I appreciate people like Coach Steve Spurrier, Freddie Weeby, Meldon Law, Jerry Benton. They are the lead sponsors that make sure this history is continued because we don't
That's
want it to
awesome.
repeat.
That's awesome.
And I appreciate them so very much. And I tell people every weekend there is a brunch here from 11 till 3. Please come out and support the brunch. Although 6 days a week, you can call in, make an appointment, or book dinner. Okay, I don't have the number, but Google it. Okay, and just come out and support Spurrier because he does a lot for the community. They do
good.
a lot for the community, and this is our community. And I'm just so appreciative. So when I tell my story, I call it the conversation piece, like PEACE, conversation piece, because I'm trying to make peace through my conversation,
Yes.
national and internationally, because I'm doing this for the kids, for the next generation.
And that's good.
And my mother said, when you just said, you referenced that it's history for everybody. And my mom wanted people to appreciate the history. She said to me, when you tell that history, baby, you need a song. So Mama's going to write you a song. And she wrote me a song, and I'm just going to share part of the song that she wrote that really tells the story.
Okay.
And it goes like this. Oh, let me find it. I hope I brought it. I know it, but when I start singing it, I forget it.
Yes.
Yes. I get so involved. And like you said, teary
Yes.
And then I can't separate the tears from the history.
Yes.
But anyway, in Cedar Key was next door to Rosewood, like 9 miles. And there was a hub, a train hub in Cedar Key where all of the trains would park, and the trains would travel from Jacksonville to Cedar Key hauling timber or lumber. Okay, so she said one of the trains, and it was one of the trains that lived or stayed at the hub, at the Cedar Key train hub in Rosewood, a family, a couple, 2 brothers were train conductors there. So my mom wrote this about what they did to help the Rosewood people, and it goes like this. The Cedar Key train conductors were told to pick up in Rosewood. Standing by the tracks with a lantern, its young school teacher stood, waiting in desperation to carry out the sheriff's plans, rounding up the hidden survivors to board the midnight train. The sheriff and the store owner worked around the clock. Oh, Lord, inform the train conductors just when and where to stop. Pick up the men, women, and children who were hiding out and bring them to Archer, Florida, traveling the same old route. Bob Walker and John Wright took on a daring risk. Put the survivors on the train, Lord, and sent them off with a kiss. Notified the Gainesville families to be on the lookout for their kin. Told them the train was a-comin' and told them exactly when. John and William Bryce headed on up the track, dropping off other survivors, not taking the time to look back. Counting heads and making a list, doing what they knew they should, to report to Sheriff Bob Walker back down in Rosewood. Once the train got to Gainesville, it dropped off the majority of the people that were on the train escaping the Rosewood massacre. However, it traveled further like Waldo, Stark, Lord T. Maxville. The train kept chugging along. Baldwin, Callahan, K-Town, Briceville would soon become their home. The Fanny Taylor lie had ruined their lives, and their story didn't set too well. And deep down within each survivor's heart, they knew one day they would have their family story to tell about Rosewood, Florida, once a growing community, linked with chains of love and family unity. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I missed the line, but I'll go back and correct it. Uh, about Rosewood, Florida, once a growing community, until the fighting started in 1923. No one ever thought Rosewood would go down in death. That brought on so much pain and unforgettable distress. And I'm going to stop it there, but that's her story that told the story. That's her song that told the story about Rosewood. And I love this song.
And this is your mother
My mother.
that wrote this song.
Yes. Wow. She was 20 when Rosewood happened. And her sister told her only this story. Because back then, being raped by the KKK was very embarrassing. And she was too ashamed to tell her parents. So she told my mom only. Not her dad especially, because he didn't play. And her mother also carried her shotgun too in the yard. But long story, because her dad passed for white. And he kept them back. The one child out of 10 kids, one child was light-skinned as he. All 9 others were my complexion. Okay. So he protected his family. It's a long story, but it's a long history. But we need to know our history. Okay?
Amen. Yes, ma'am. I
All
totally
right.
agree.
Okay, that's about time for our first half. We are going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Meldon Law has been serving personal injury victims since 1971. In those days, Jeffrey Meldon's presence as an attorney in the music scene dubbed him with the nickname the Hippie Attorney. And although times have changed, 2 things haven't: our commitment to bettering our community by helping the injured,
Albert, are you ready to go to the game?
and our love for the Florida Gators.
If you bleed orange and blue, Meldon Law is the firm for you.
I am Black History.
I am Rosewood Black History.
I am Florida
and America's Black History, and you are too.
January 1st, 1923, the KKK insurrectionists attacked Rosewood, killing 5, burning it down.
Because a white woman lied and cried, a black man assaulted me. Rosewood redevelopment is on its way.
Want to help? Visit rosewoodflorida.com.
Welcome back to Queen Lizzie Podcast, brought to you weekly from the Steve Spurrier Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. We are here with Miss Lola Debose. The Queen Lizzie Podcast is brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union, live from the Meldon Law Gator Studios at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Today, I am here with my friend, with my first lady from my church, and a Christian, of course. And we are also discussing the pastor's upcoming installation. And I understand that you are a licensed minister?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
Yes,
all right.
Yes, we were actually both licensed in California.
Really?
So I don't even know what year that was, but yeah, our pastor, Pastor Bob Thompson,
Okay.
who is now deceased, of course, passed away some years ago,
Okay.
ordained both of us.
Really?
Yeah, so I was actually ordained in New Hope Missionary Baptist Church, and in the early 2000s.
Really?
In the early 2000s, yeah.
Alright.
So we served there. Got a lot of training, you know, from Pastor Thompson, and after our military move, of course, because my husband was still in the military. So the great part about being able to serve and be in ministry is that we've been all over the world, and we've seen a lot.
Missionaries.
Yes, we've seen a lot, so we understand how a lot of the church, how church works.
Okay.
The background of it, the front
Yes.
part of it. We understand a lot, and that's why we knew at some point that God would call us to, minister and be over a church, but that's not something that we pursued because we know that it's a great calling.
Yes.
Just like the Rosewood Foundation.
Yes.
It's a great calling, and when you're in, you're in. There's no turning back.
Yes.
You have to do your homework, and
Yes.
you have to lead the people, the way that God would have you to
Absolutely.
lead the people. And so that's what I see in the foundation as well, how that you are leading us through this trail that's been, just years and years
Yes.
and years, and it's just been such a blessing to even be able to get this history.
Yes.
To get this history is such a blessing.
And you all received it so well when I told you I was having a party at the Steve Spurrier
Definitely.
rooftop.
Definitely.
You accepted it very positively, and I
Definitely.
followed up with, now they're going to be dancing and drinking, and
That's-
I'm going to have fun and
Yes,
enjoy
and we wanted
myself.
you to have fun and enjoy yourself. And
And-
we was there to support every
Yes, you
every
did.
step of the way.
And you did.
And we had a good time.
yes.
We had a good time.
And I'll never forget, I don't remember, but you sent me a note which was so valuable. Something about you, through me, you enjoyed, you felt the spirit of what I was trying to do. I don't remember.
I had such a great time watching you just have a great time.
Really?
Just your freedom and your liberty, and just to see the people out on the dance floor, everybody was dancing and just celebrating you.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
celebrating you. And I often tell you this. I'm like, if you hadn't told me your age, I would have never guessed it. Because you move around like you're still in 40s or 50s,
Oh,
which is
my God.
which is a blessing, which is a blessing. So I could only hope that when I reach, my peak ages, that I can operate and to be in sound mind.
Yes. That's important too.
That is so important, to be in sound mind and be able to still remember all the history.
Yes.
From
Yes.
day one, everything that's been passed down to you, and as you continue to pass it on through generations and generations, you don't have to stutter through it. You fluently tell it with grace,
Yes. Well,
and that's a blessing.
it's
That's a
part
blessing.
of who I am, and thank you for telling me it's a blessing. But,
Oh, yes.
See, I think everybody think like I do, but my husband said, no. People barely remember their name, and he will reference himself. He says, sometimes I don't remember my name. But thank you very much. And to keep this history going, like I said, I appreciate you and your husband. That meant so much to me, too. It really did. Watching you all, enjoy. And the food was delicious.
It was.
The food was delicious. And I didn't get my drink, so I came here a couple of days ago, and I asked for the drink that everybody said was so good. They said, I'm sorry, that was a special signature drink we ordered for you.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know how it tastes. I said, well, I have to wait until next year.
Yeah, you definitely got to do it again.
Oh,
You
yes.
definitely got to do
We're
it
working
again.
on
I
it.
know you probably have gotten a lot of requests.
Oh, yes. Yes, we have.
Hey, let's come together and
And
do
what
it
was so
again.
good about it, it was it was people. It was about people, non-political. It was about people. We all came together.
Exactly.
And we had a wonderful time. Wonderful time. Yes,
Yes.
we've got to do this again.
Mm-hmm.
But upcoming on January 4th, January 1, 2025 will be 100. We will be celebrating the 102nd anniversary, Rosewood anniversary. However, the celebration date is January 4th, and we are going to remember Rosewood in Newberry at a girlfriend's properties, and she has invited us, and I hope you all are listening. We are inviting everybody, churches, groups, clubs, family, friends. You don't have to pay anything. We are inviting you because we are going to build a Rosewood Museum in Archer, and this is going to be our kickoff for the fundraiser. So you don't have to buy anything, but bring your wallet. Okay,
Yes.
if not your wallet, your cash app number and ID, so that you can help us make this a big day. And it's going to start at 3. The address for the event is what is the address? 22517 Southwest 15th Avenue, Newberry, Florida. And it's at Janice Owens property. Janice and what's her husband's name? Sorry, husband. Well done. Owens. And everyone is invited. We are going to put it on my podcast. No, on my website.
Okay.
rosewoodflorida.com. You can go there and find it, and you can go there and donate if you want to donate before. But please come. It starts at 3, and we are going to have a wonderful time, a great time. And as I said, it was the 102nd anniversary, and all of the work that we have done. I'm going to talk briefly about what we have done. And then Jordan Marlowe, who is the board chair, Pedro Germain is the first vice president. So we're going to give y'all a brief update about the upcoming Rosewood Museum, which will be in Archer. It's going to be built in Archer on the very same property where my mom and her sister, the school teacher, and their family grew up, and that property was purchased in 1897. So now we know why we have saved it, because our parents would tell us, don't sell this property. They're not making any more. So we have held on to the property that my father purchased in 1940 and the property my grandfather purchased in 1897. So with that said, we need you. Tell your friends and go to my Facebook. When you see the flyer, please share it so that other people can see it. And we're going to have, I know we're going to have an ice cream truck there, and we will probably have a food truck. So bring money to purchase food and ice cream. She has animals. We will be able to pet the animals. Okay. And I don't know if we can ride the goats or the donkeys, but just come prepared to have a wonderful time. And as I said, remember to support Spurrier Gridiron Grill and the brunch, weekly brunch from 11 to 3. And what else was I going to say? Is there anything else you would like to mention?
Well, I'm grateful for this opportunity, you know, just to be able to sit, you know, because to me it's not always about talking, me talking so much, but it's about being able to listen, you know, as well, and just understand and appreciate your work, Miss Lizzie, because you do a lot. You do a lot, and anything that we can do, you know, as your pastor and pastor's wife, to accommodate you, to help put programs together with you, and notify the communities and,
Yes.
just our families and friends and people that we may know, to help you to let's put together a program, especially during, our Black History
Yes,
Month,
yes,
And
yes.
I had already spoke to my husband. I said, I just think that this is a great topic for our Black History program. And I don't know if they've already talked about doing a Black History program, but I've already put it in my mind.
Okay.
And so I've already, kind of briefly talked to him about you being the speaker for that,
Wonderful.
because to
I'd be honored.
continue, yes, to continue to share that history and with the younger generation because
Exactly.
they really need to know. They
And
really
he
need to
can
know.
invite his Gainesville friends.
Exactly.
They are always there anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would be honored.
Oh yeah, we would definitely do that.
Okay.
Definitely, that's a must. That has to happen.
Okay, so let's,
Yes,
let's
yeah.
make it happen.
Yes.
That's next month. I mean, that's
It's coming up
coming up.
fast. It's
Yeah,
coming up
February,
fast. Yeah, yeah. So
Now, on the 15th, I'll be out of town. I'm speaking
Okay.
down south.
okay,
Okay. But other than that,
yeah,
February.
we can
is-
work it in because we know you have a busy schedule, so
Mm-hmm.
we can work around your schedule, of course.
Okay.
Yes.
And one other thing I want to say before we end the day, I don't know if people know who Opal Lee is. Opal Lee is 98 years old. She lives in Fort Worth, Texas. She is the grandmother of the International Juneteenth Foundation. And I am on that foundation with her. And I talked to her Wednesday night and asked her to be my guest via Zoom
Okay.
on the 9th, which is next Monday. She agreed. 98.
Oh, good. 98 years old.
Yes, and she fixed dinner for me, Thanksgiving dinner for me. I said, now you know I'm not coming to Fort Worth, Texas. Well, she said, if you do, I'm cooking it for my family.
98 years
At
old.
98, she is sharp. Okay, 98, sharp.
That's
Yes,
that's amazing.
That's
to me.
that's amazing. And cooking dinner. Yes, I just wanted to throw that out so that when we talk, we can let the people know what is going to happen. And thank you so much for extending the invitation for me to be the speaker during Black History Month. I'm honored.
Yes, ma'am. Wouldn't have it
Okay.
any other way.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, I am continuously humbled, honored, and blessed to meet people daily and invite them to join in peace building, healing, and reconciliation through learning about the history of Rosewood. That will wrap up today's episode. I am Queen Lizzie. Until next time, and this is my Rosewood story, and I'm sticking to it. Thank you.